It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Elizabeth City's head men's basketball coach, Shawn Walker. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brandon. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started in college coaching?
Oh man, it seems like it's been a long time ago, but I guess it has been a long time. But I graduated from college in December of 1994, and had an opportunity to go to Slippery Rock University in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, as a graduate assistant basketball coach, graduate student. And that's how I actually got into college basketball. I stayed at Slippery Rock for only 1 year, and connected with a brand new head coach by the name of Anthony Jones, who was a part of the Bobby Knight tree, so to speak. And I was able to get involved in coaching and gain some valuable experience as a student worker, so to speak, at Slippery Rock University in 1995.
Can you talk about, of course, what you accomplished in your first time going to Elizabeth City in 2002 to 2014?
Yeah, well, Elizabeth City has been awfully good to me. Obviously, it's my alma mater. Not too many places that students or alums get an opportunity to do anything but participate other than going back for homecomings and festivities of such. So my accomplishments were many. Not all of them were actually about winning and losing, but a lot of them, a lot of the accomplishments were actually about the functionality of learning how to be a coach. In 2002, my math is bad, Brandon, but I think I was 30 years old when I got a chance to go back to Elizabeth City as the women's coach. And I moved over from the women's coach to being the head men's coach. But a lot of people don't know that I was also the men and women's cross country coach. I was able to run programs on the small scale from the very moment that I walked onto that campus as an adult. So I had a tremendous amount of learning, learning how to lose, learning how to win, learning how to deal with alums and people that I knew, learning how to just be responding to the community. Those are all valuable things that I was able to learn as a young coach coming back to Elizabeth City.
Can you talk about, of course, you said that you also coached lacrosse and stuff like that. How was it transitioning from being a men's basketball coach and a women's basketball coach to now a lacrosse coach?
Yeah, well, I was a cross country coach. So I did a function of track and field, so it was cross country. But it was a unique at that time. The cross country runners were actually basketball players, so I was able to just basically facilitate that sport with the players that I was already sharing the responsibility of coaching as an assistant coach or as the head women's coach. So, it was a little different. We didn't really practice every day. Um, we didn't really go about trying to win a championship. We went about trying to sponsor a sport. And so that thrusted me into a position of making sure that all the things that needed to transpire budget wise, um, just going back and forth, driving vans, transportation wise, all those things were things that I was able to learn as a young coach, and having the opportunity to run my own program, although it was cross country and not what my passion was and what I actually wanted to do. It afforded me a tremendous opportunity to be able to be in leadership.
Can you talk about your time at Grambling State University in 2014?
Grambling State. Yeah, I was at Grambling State. I went to Grambling from 2014 to 2017. Uniquely today is the birthday of one of the first coach and the legendary coach, Bobby Vaughn, at Elizabeth City State. And I think Coach Vaughn's 94 years old today, one of the pioneers in college basketball. And going to Grambling was an opportunity for me to be in the legendary hallways of Eddie Robinson, the legendary football coach, that had many professional players. There's a museum there on campus, and Grambling was a great opportunity for me. It gave me a chance to be 1,000 miles away from home for the first time in my life, with the job, so to speak, to renovate and to stabilize a program that had not been one that was winning, and being able to coach Division I, of course, and just being at a place that had tremendous tradition. Although that tradition was not basketball, that tradition was football, and that tradition was rich. So I was very happy to have been there and be able to make the contribution that I did during the time that I was there. My time was up there after 3 years, and we had accomplished a tremendous amount, and was, I thought, just on our pathway to doing some great things there, and that was not meant to be. And so Grambling was very good to me, gave me another opportunity for experience and seeing basketball played at a different level, and I'm very happy for that opportunity.
Can you talk about, of course, the process and from whenever you were at Grambling to come back to Elizabeth City?
Yeah, that's unique. That's a great question, because my time at Grambling ended relatively untimely. And I was thrusted out of position where my contract was not renewed. That was in 2017. So in theory, in layman terms, I got fired. and so I came home from a little small town called Roper, North Carolina, and I came home and was elementary physical education teacher for 1 year, 2017 to 2018. And my plan was never ever to come back to Elizabeth City, so to speak. But the good Lord has his plans. The Bible says his thoughts are not our thoughts, and his ways are not ours. So our ways are not his ways. So the job at Elizabeth City State came open again. I applied. The administration had changed, and I applied for the position and was lucky to be able to come back and to win over the current administration and allow them to entrust me in to being their coach once more. So I'll just tell you that the good Lord showed me, obviously, that this is where I was supposed to be, and I was very fortunate to be back into college basketball and back into college coaching at a place that I was very familiar with.
Can you talk about, of course, being honored with Elizabeth City's Hall of Fame and what that meant to you?
Yeah, that was a major accomplishment, a big time accomplishment. I've walked through the halls at the Vaughn Center day to day, basically all my life, since I have been a little boy. My dad took me back and forth to the games and saw those pictures on those walls, and having an opportunity to play at Elizabeth City and play multiple sports, and to be a pretty good player, and to have that honor of being considered one of the greatest that have ever played there over the history of the time that sports has been charted there at that university was very special. It is very special. There are days that I walk by and look up there on that wall to see my picture and read it and become refreshed with the fact that I'm actually a Hall of Famer, and always have an opportunity to share with the recruits and the players that I'm actually a Hall of Famer. My picture's on that wall, so it's very special to me, and something that I don't take for granted.
Speaking about, of course, the recruiting process and recruits, how is it like whenever your recruits come in and you say, "Hey, look up there, and my name's up there for the Hall of Fame"?
Yeah, I normally, as we're sharing the building and sharing the history of the Vaughn Center, as I just talked about R.L. Vaughn and that Vaughn Center, I normally stop people and say, this is the Sports Hall of Fame. And then I would stop and share a joke with whomever that student athlete is, that prospective student athlete is, that this would be the ultimate goal for them 10 years or 15 years away to find themselves on that board. And then I would share with them, see that picture right there? That's me. That's who you're talking to now. So it always is a lightening of the mood, and always a pretty sweet experience.
Can you talk about, of course, playing in your conference and who you play in your conference?
Yeah, the CIAA conference, the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association is a conference that has phenomenal history. We will play the likes of Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State, Shaw University, St. Augustine's University. Claflin University is a new school that's joined our league a couple years ago in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Johnson C. Smith University. Those universities make up the southern side of our league. And then on the northern side of our league, there's Elizabeth City State, of course, Virginia State, Virginia Union, Bowie State, Lincoln University. Those make up the northern side of our league. So very competitive league, a league that has phenomenal history. A lot of NBA players have presence this league all over the place, and just an exciting opportunity to play college basketball at the Division II level, but a league that has proven to turn out pros.
Can you talk about, of course, the 2007 season winning the conference championship?
Yeah, I don't think there's any sweeter of a moment in my coaching career that I can remember than being able to win a championship for my alma mater. The only sour part of that at this point is that we have not been able to do that since then. So it's been 13 years or 14 years removed. That was an awesome experience in Charlotte, North Carolina. We were the underdogs. We took down one of the top 10 teams in the country, and one of the pioneers of college basketball, CIAA basketball, and Coach Dave Robbins at Virginia Union. Just a week of interactions there in Charlotte that ended so unbelievably, I would say, after having somewhat of a tough year. So that was a great time, a wonderful moment in the history of Elizabeth City State University. I was happy to be a part of that, and hoping that we can duplicate that here in the very near future.
Can you talk about, of course, the winning culture that you have built at Elizabeth City State University?
Yeah, well, we've tried to build a culture that is sustainable, and that culture that is founded on the premise of character, integrity, and commitment to our surroundings and our citizenship. And so that's where we're finally want to bring in players that have those foundational characteristics. And so, I do believe that we have built a sustainable culture. We are fighting for that culture every single day. I think that's important in coaching, that we fight that our pillars are able to stay strong and not be torn down. And now once, now here that I'm back, time number 2, it's kind of time for us to again start this process of actually winning and turning the wheel towards championships once again.
Can you talk about, of course, the recruitment process and what you look for in young basketball players?
Yeah, we look for guys that have character, integrity, commitment to citizenship, and then they have to be able to play basketball too. We know that TOO means also. So the basketball piece is the latter part of the responsibility. So we really do believe here that the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So we know that if we can attract players that want degrees, that are serious about academics, that are serious about meeting the demands of the community, that find it to be important to just be a good person, whether someone's watching them or whether they're not. then we know that they're going to come to the floor and play hard for us. They're going to be able to make their talent level grow, their God-gifted ability. They're going to be able to see that through. And ultimately, if we can put together enough of those types of players in one setting, then, the sky will always be the limit for what we can do in terms of winning.
Can you talk about, of course, on the recruitment process with the official visit, what that is like?
Well, I think the official visit for us is pretty simple. I think it's pretty simple all over the country, but I think for us, standardly, my beliefs is guys, players want to see where they're going to live. They want to see where they're going to play ball. They want to see where they're going to lift weights, and they want to see where they're going to eat. All right, those four things are essentially important. Once they've seen those things, then the interactions that they have with the players and the people that they are going to play with is everything. That's what they're coming to campus to do, is to atone with the young men or young women that are already there, so they can get the answers that they have to the questions that they may have. So I think the official visit is very important, but that visit is more important for the camaraderie of the young people, more so than it is from coach to player.
Of course, do players on the official visit, do they get to try on the jersey to make sure they feel at home in it?
Sometimes. I think the NCAA just started that process where guys can be in uniforms and take pictures and pose and post it on their social media and stuff like that. So that's something that's brand new. That was not the case earlier in my career, and now you can win players over by putting them in a uniform and showing them that they're actually a part of your family.
Can you talk about, of course, what you plan to accomplish in this upcoming year in 2021 as your season got cut due to opting out?
Yeah, well, right now we're just our plans are to do as much as we can for skill development once our players do return to campus. I don't know what that's going to look like. Obviously, safety is at the pinnacle of our responsibility and our forethought. And we'll just spend the majority of our time, obviously, trying to attract and recruit additional players and prospects and fill the voids that we have as a program and as a team. And just begin to plan for next year. There's a lot of planning that needs to be done, as it would normally be during this time of the year. So we'll try to start scheduling games for next year. We'll track players. We'll try to schedule exhibition games with Division I programs. We'll try to get bigger, faster, and stronger on a day-to-day basis. And obviously, we will spend a tremendous amount of time studying and trying to raise our team's grade point average. That will be the things that I think will be most important at this time.
As the process of recruitment, how difficult is it for the 2021 and 2022 class?
As far as high school players?
Yes.
I think it's going to be very difficult. I think it's going to be very challenging, for sure. There's a tremendous amount of high school players that will not get a chance to play in their senior year due to the fact that COVID has canceled their seasons. That means obviously that college coaches will not be able to go out and evaluate them as players. The AAU season last year was cut short. So players did not get an opportunity to be seen as much as they would have normally have done. And now the NCAA has come out and granted each player that participated this year an additional season of competition, which means there's a tremendous amount of colleges that will not lose players to graduation this year. So if you don't lose players to graduation and no one moves on, there are no roster spots to give to new players. So I do believe it's going to be challenging for high school players, junior college players. I have a son that's a sophomore in junior college this year. I'm very concerned about what his recruiting could possibly be like, just due to the fact of COVID-19 and this blanket waiver. So it's going to be challenging for those players that have not been recruited as of now and don't have offers on the table. It's going to be very challenging for them. And if they do have offers on the table, they should probably go ahead and try to take them prior to the spring getting to be too late.
What advice would you give upcoming college coaches looking to get into the industry?
I would say to guys, I got in the industry by moving into graduate school. I also got into the industry with the desire to just take a job, to just take the first job that I could get to get me in, which landed me at Voorhees College in Denmark, South Carolina, which was a small NAIA school that only had about 800 students at the time. There are a tremendous amount of coaches that aspire to get in this game, but they don't want to take certain jobs. They don't want to take certain types of jobs. And that would be, in my opinion, the wrong way to do it. In addition to that, I would say, you can't get into this business for money, because the majority of the coaches that are in this business, over 90% of the coaches in this business don't make very much money. You have to do it for the love of the game, the love and the impact that we have for the young people that we'll be fostering to, administering to, and just do a good job that way, coming up the ranks, and have a great understanding that your work will speak for itself. So when you're really good at it, you'll get your next opportunity.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the program?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, Shawn Walker at Shawn Walker. It's my Twitter handle. That's my primary one, obviously, and we tweet from time to time. ECSU Athletics is Twitter feed. I think ECSU is on Instagram and all these different places. So I can be found in on those platforms, and I'm not a big time tweeter, but I am there, and feel free to follow me for something inspirational from time to time.
Thank you again, Coach Shawn, for your interview, and best of luck in the 2021 season.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Appreciate the opportunity.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Shawn, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.